Flight of Freedom. My name is Rio. Once I flew through a sky painted in endless blue, the sun warming my feathers and the wind carrying my joy. My home was the lush rainforest, a symphony of colors, sounds, and life. I belonged to a flock of macaws, my family. We called to one another as we soared between emerald trees, our laughter echoing in the vibrant green world. But one day, everything changed. It began with a sharp crack. The sound was alien to the forest, startling us as it rippled through the trees. Before I could fly away, a heavy net fell over me. I struggled, my wings thrashing, but the more I fought, the tighter it held. My flock scattered, their cries fading as I was dragged away by rough hands. The journey from my home was long and terrifying. They crammed me into a small dark box with barely enough room to move. Around me I heard the faint cries of other birds, each one trapped like me. Days passed, maybe weeks, until I was taken out of the box and put into a small cage in a noisy, crowded market. People walked by, pointing at me, their faces full of curiosity but empty of understanding. "Look at the colors," they said. "What a beautiful bird." But all I felt was despair. My wings, meant to stretch wide and strong, drooped under the weight of confinement. A man with a booming voice sold me to a family. They took me to their house, where I was placed in another cage, this one barely big enough for me to turn around. The children poked their fingers through the bars, laughing when I squawked in fear. "Talk," they demanded, but I didn't understand their words. The days turned into months. My heart grew heavy, my feathers dull. I missed the taste of fresh fruit plucked from trees, the feeling of the wind ruffling my feathers, the voices of my flock. I began to lose hope. One day, everything changed again. A woman came to the house. She had kind eyes and spoke in a soft voice. "This bird looks unwell," she said. "He needs more space, better care." The family shrugged, uninterested. The woman left, but returned days later with papers and a man in a uniform. The man opened my cage, and for the first time in what felt like forever, I stretched my wings. Though weak and trembling, they still remembered their purpose. I was taken to a place they called a rescue center. It smelled of trees and earth, and there were other birds like me. Some had scars, others missing feathers, but all of us shared the same story of captivity. The people at the center were gentle. They fed me fruits and spoke soothing words. Slowly I grew stronger. My wings, once bound and weak, regained their strength. One day the woman who had rescued me stood by my enclosure with tears in her eyes. "You're ready," she said. They took me to a place that smelled familiar, a stretch of forest, alive with the songs of birds and the hum of life. As they opened the door to my carrier, I hesitated. Could I still fly? Could I still belong to the sky? With a deep breath, I leapt. My wings caught the air, and for the first time in years, I felt free. The trees below blurred as I soared higher and higher, the sun warming my feathers just as it had before. In the distance, I heard a familiar call. My heart leapt. It was my flock. I raced toward them, my voice joining theirs in a chorus of joy. I was home. Message: every bird belongs to the sky, not a cage. Let us protect the wild and keep it wild, for freedom is the birthright of all living beings.